Let's get started. And welcome to the new financial year. If this is a new financial year for you, because this is an exciting opportunity, this is the beginning of a new year. We're going to see massive changes this year. It is going to blow everybody away in terms of the changes that we're going to see. So let's dive right in. Firstly, I'm going to share my screen here, and then we can dive right in. I've got a document here. This is going to be sent to your email address, so you can do your own research. You can really just follow the cookie crumb trail that I'm leaving behind, that I'm dropping here as we continue this journey together, and as as I share this information, because it is cutting edge. And I just do want to also stress that what I'm sharing here today is not financial advice. You have to do your own research, but also that this is also very time sensitive. So, I don't want you to just go, oh, well, this crypto thing is going to be around for a while, so I'm just going to sit back and chill and, you know, watch it all unfold before I get involved. That's really defeating the purpose of this call. So let's begin. The new economy is here. And also, I'm going to offer you a link to get involved in a brand new crypto project that is in the pre-launch stage, that is looking for early adopters to participate in an exchange sort of program, utilizing a new economy, utilizing a new digital currency that's pegged to the last highest price of gold. You don't have to spend any money. You just have to register. If you have a business, you can register as a merchant, and you'll receive, I don't know, I got $28,000 worth of coin, which is this new economy, but like, I can use it within the network to buy and sell people's goods and services. And that's really the purpose of this, is to replace the fiat that we have, because it is being replaced with central bank digital currencies. And there'll be a link in the in this document here for you to participate that, and to get involved and to get that bonus. It's a free token thing, just because they need early adopters to start proving the use case. So this is as we begin this transition from speculation in the crypto world to utility. That's where we are right now at this crossroads. So some basic things to cover. Who can hold crypto assets? Anyone can hold crypto assets. You hold them, on your phone, in a wallet, digital wallet in your phone. It's kind of the same as having normal money, except this is utilizing blockchain. What are crypto assets? Well, this is essentially removing a middleman out of the equation, like a bank, and making you your own sort of bank in that way, where you are the custodian of your crypto and of the private keys. And you really have to make sure that you keep those private keys and those passwords safe. Write them down. Don't put them online, because you want to protect your investment from loss. And that's a real way people lose their crypto investment, is just by losing their own password. So we don't want to do that. You want to back up your password and keep it safe, or get a ledger. Anyway, get a cold storage wallet. We'll talk about that later. Where can you buy crypto assets? So right now there's a whole bunch of different exchanges in the world, online, I suppose. Binance is one. It's just copped some flack in the UK, but there's a whole bunch of exchanges: KuCoin, Binance, CoinDesk. There's a lot of different exchanges, and these different exchanges will actually allow you to participate in the market of these different coins. And also, they have different tokens listed. So some exchanges are big exchanges and they've got the popular coins, and some exchanges are the smaller altcoin exchanges, and they will have the less popular coins. But this is essentially what an exchange looks like. You have to sign up as an account, create an account. You have to prove your identity, because money laundering and whatnot. So you have to prove your identity. Then you can go ahead and buy crypto on one of these exchanges. You can do a bank deposit. You can pay with a credit card or debit card. And, and then there's various other ways to buy crypto initially. That's really the first step, is to get your fiat money into, cryptocurrencies, whether it's a stable coin like USDT, like US dollar tether, or USDC, another stable coin. These are stable coins. They don't move, they don't fluctuate. There's no volatility like the other cryptos out there, but we're here for the volatility. So we want to buy essentially what we see the future being, the coins that are utilized in the future infrastructure of the world, which brings us to kind of the Great Reset and what's going on there, because we've just come out of this 2020 pandemic thing, and essentially it's created this whole problem, reaction, solution narrative. And if you go, if you go into this document I've shared with you, if you scroll down, there's actually, I've been studying these documents from the G7 meetings that have been happening over the last 30 to 60 days. And these G7 meetings, they talk a lot about COVID. They talk a lot about the lockdowns and what their plans are for that. And they talk a lot about reforming the trading system, building a more resilient global economy. So they're really talking about transforming, the multilateral trading system at the moment, like currently. That's what their plan is, and that revolves around money and moving money around. And as we dive deeper and deeper into this call, I'll be showing you which tokens, like essentially they're already listed here during this little like introduction thing, but essentially there's a whole bunch of tokens here that are the backbone. They actually the program, the frameworks for the system to actually go digital. And that's why we're seeing, if you look at the price of these things, that's why we're seeing a lot of market manipulation around these tokens. XRP, for example, is being held back. They're actually in a lawsuit against the SEC, which is a sort of a fake lawsuit, which is a whole different conspiracy in and of itself. But to essentially like be able to, kind of implement it in one active trigger, like one, flick of the switch kind of thing. So it's less organic right now, and it's more orchestrated. And that's really where we're bridging from with this whole 2020. This is a very orchestrated environment we live in. And we are on the receiving end of, and this is a way that we can be prepared and align ourselves and jump on the train of this orchestration, so that at the end of it all, it might not end for a while, but at the end, when the system is upgraded to the digital system, because that's really the vision of the future. The vision is everything becomes digital. We got central bank digital currencies. We don't have fiat money anymore, and we don't have a US dollar, where the US dollar is a dominant currency in the world, where nation states all around the world become their own, powerhouse of enterprise and their own digital, central bank for their own region, their own country, their own, that sort of thing. So there's going to be a whole bunch of different, there'll be a euro, there'll be a American digital dollar, there'll be a Australian one, there'll be, all the different countries will have their own digital dollar. China's already got one. So this is, you just got to kind of follow this cookie crumb trail and start Googling the stuff, and you'll find there's so much information coming out about this central bank digital currencies that they're going to start pushing onto people and start replacing your current money, which you think is worth something, with digital money, which is probably even less, whatever. It's just going to be more digital and less secure in the way that you know it. So they're redefining what money means, and that's really where we're at in this system, in this whole great reset kind of thing. So the other thing I want to talk about here is why you have to do the opposite for your emotions. So this crypto market is designed to take the most amount of money out of from the most amount of people most of the time. And it does that by playing on your emotions. So when you look at a price chart, when you look at and we're just going to go to markets here, and you can kind of see where you go to navigate these sorts of, click on the spot price, where you go to buy crypto, and we can select a whole bunch of different coin pairings here. So we'll just go to fiat market, which is the US dollar. And maybe we'll just type in here, we'll type in Bitcoin, move this thing, BTC. And then we can have a look quickly at US dollar BTC. That's not it. Oh no, I just clicked it. So essentially, this is a chart, an example of a chart. I don't even know what this is. Bitcoin to DAI. I don't know if that's really a good one to look at. I don't really have many here. Let's look at that VET. That's pretty cool. But essentially, this is a chart. This is how they measure the price of all these different tokens, including the stock market. If you're not familiar with it, every candle, these are candles, red and green candles. Red is going down, green's going up. Every candle here is a 15-minute candle. We can switch it to 4-hour candles so that we are compressing the time and averaging it out per candle. And then we can kind of like zoom out and we can go to the daily and we can look at this massive price fluctuations here. So this is a massively volatile industry, you know, and rightfully so. It's just beginning. So what we're seeing here is a whole bunch of speculation around this token called VeChain, which is a very practical token. It's going to be used in tracking and tracing of different products and services that are sent all around the world in terms of logistics and stuff like that, as well as many other features. So we're seeing this price fluctuation here, and we've just come down from a pretty big all-time high, you know, for 27 cents. And this is an example of answering the question of when is a good time to buy cryptocurrencies, because the best time to buy crypto is when there's fear in the market, when there's lots of red candles, which goes against your emotions, because if you don't know what you're buying, you're going to second guess yourself and you're going to question what it is that you're buying, and you're going to go, oh, is this going to really pan out? And, you know, there'll be fear involved there. So as well, on the flip side, when you know, when we're up here, if we can zoom, well, you know, when we're up in some all-time high peaking areas, geez, zoom out. When we're up here doing some all-time highs, that's actually some times when you should be looking to start taking profits, you know, because that's the time when there's huge amount of euphoria in the market, and it's just a proven sort of fear and greed index, and this market is going to play on your fear and on the fear and greed index of your own sort of your own internal barometer. So I just want you to be aware of that. And I'll show you the current Bitcoin sentiment in the market. Bitcoin is the dominant crypto today, and the fear and greed index is 28%. We are just coming out of a period of about 55 days of being in a deep fear in the marketplace. So we are exiting this period of time, and that's pretty exciting. So let's continue. That's really the market. It's like being able to maintain a level playing field in terms of your own emotions, so that you're not influenced by, you know, these price fluctuations. And that's really one of the biggest challenges. How to time the market, how to buy crypto. I think what I'll do is I'll just give you a quick rundown of how to buy crypto once you've got some fiat or US dollars or USDT. USDT is just the tethered version of US dollars. So you can take US dollars and buy USDT, and then you can use USDT to buy any of these coins that are on these exchanges. And the way that you do that is this little box over here. Place your order, and you want to essentially like find the kind of price. Where are we here? The current. Here we go. This is like where we are today, this current price. So you want to find the price where you want to buy at. If it's going down, you may want to, you know, open an order where you buy the dip even more, but you can essentially just settle on today's price is right now's price is 9 cents and 0.034. And then this will tell you how much money you have available, how much US dollars. So then you can essentially allocate a percentage, or you can write down the amount, and then you can just click there and you can go to buy VeChain. And this is something I own. You can see I've got 2,000 VeChain tokens here. If I wanted to sell them to take some profit, I would go here and I would go, well, I'm going to sell 25, I'm going to sell 10% of what I have, and I'm going to start taking some profits. And that's the way that you do that. You know, I could even open an order here to say I'm going to take 10% profits at 30 cents. 30 cents, and then I can actually publish that order, and that would automatically sell my 10% of my VeChain, which is 219 VETs, for $65, essentially, whenever the price gets to that point. And that's really how you do it. From there, you will have a wallet, and here you can have a look at your wallet and check your fiat and spot wallet. And that's really sort of like the basics of buying cryptos. From there, you want to like find out what coins you want to start buying and what coin pairings. Now, the one that I'm looking at, the one that an underground community are really focused in on, because we're all like super fully versed on XRP and what it does and what it's doing for the world, but 0.9% of the population out there have no idea what XRP is, let alone what crypto is, but what XRP is and how it acts as a bridge currency between a central bank sending money to other central banks. And they do that all the time, and they do that with trillions of dollars. And that's a constant stream of money flowing around the world, let alone XRP facilitating a bank to then issue central bank digital currencies, their own, digital dollar, and that being distributed. So XRP is the quickest and the cheapest coin out there that facilitates actual transactions in real time, instead of using the SWIFT system. If you're familiar with sending money internationally or getting international checks in your mailbox, the SWIFT system is so slow and expensive to use, and it is 50 years old. It's a dinosaur. So it is being replaced. And this document is here to, back that up and to show you how it's being replaced, and hopefully at what time frames as well, because we're seeing COVID popping its head up again. And also we're going to see this we're seeing this emerging now. All these banks, all these digital currencies coming onto the market and really getting ready to disrupt, disrupt the world in that way. Can you read the candle patterns in the crypto the same way you can read candle patterns? Yes, you can. Forex trading. Yeah, exactly. It's the same patterns. There's ascending triangles. There's all these different sorts of candle patterns that you can see in crypto. That's the same as Forex. It's probably a lot more volatile, but yeah, totally. And if you have comments or you have questions, drop them in the chat so I can address them as we go along. So how do we go here? All right, so talked about the Great Reset, resetting the financial system, moving into this digital version, to facilitate, to free up liquidity, because they've got a whole bunch of, if you scroll down here, we're going to see a little bit of a chart here. And this is just a basic sort of a chart on the amount of money that is stored in different financial vehicles. Western Union, this is the current market cap of XRP. This is Western Union. This is non-cash transactions of the globe. This is a SWIFT system. This is how many trillions of dollars. I think it's like $5 trillion. This is 27 trillion. This is a whole Nostro Vostro accounts, which is pre-funding bank accounts. There's this money that's just tied up in accounts to pre-fund transactions. So there's also another website. I don't know if I've got it here. This is a quantum financial thingy, But there's another website that shows you like the total global money supply. I'll try and get that into this document as well. And that's really interesting to see how many trillions of dollars are flying around in the world. And essentially the end game here is because they need technology to transmit all these trillions of dollars that's better than the SWIFT system. They need a new technology, and that technology is XRP, and XDC is also going to support and help with that as well. So these are the tokens that I'm buying, that I'm looking at, and that I'm sharing with you, as well as some other ones like FLR that's not yet currently on the market. But when that does arrive, it's going to change the game, because it's going to free up the internet of value, where we're going to be able to send money as simple and easy as sending an emoji, for example, send value in that way. So it's really exciting. Quickly touch on market cycles, and also show you TradingView. So if you are going to get into this world, you need to get TradingView, the app, on your phones, and so that you can check the charts in an easy way. It's free to use, and in this app you can create a watch list of different coins you want to watch, and it's a great charting tool. It's just basic and pretty well-rounded charting tool. It's going to give you live price updates, and here you have my chart. It's got a whole bunch of lines, resistance and support lines, as we move up, you know, from being down into this really nice dip that we just had, which allowed us to really, you know, buy the dip and to fill up our bags for what is to come. So here we've got a little bit of a trend line that's been forming. Extend that a little bit, and we can see the price is sort of finding support on that trend line, and it's continuing to track along there, which is cool. Talking about market cycles, let's go to the Bitcoin to US dollar chart. And here, if we zoom out from the 1 hourly candles and we go to the, say, the 1 week candles, and we like zoom out, if you're really new, this is what everyone's been hyping on about all those years, that you may or may not have really been looking at Bitcoin. Oh, and I've got some crazy drawings on there, but so this is like a market cycle. This is a market cycle of ads. Got all these boxes everywhere. Hang on. This is a 2012 market cycle, where we had this initial run up, and we had a little dip, retraced actually 80%, and then it went up again, and then it peaked at, you know, like at $1,000 Bitcoin back in 2013. Who wouldn't mind buying Bitcoin at $1,000? So then we had another market cycle, and these market cycles for Bitcoin's been the top dog in the speculation market for the last 10 years, has follows a halving. So every 4 years, it halves the amount of, you know, coins that are available, or whatever. There's limited coins available in Bitcoin, and that's what we call tokenomics. There's like 19 million coins. That's why the price is so high, because there's only 19 million, and there's like this scarcity effect. Whereas the US dollar, we've just gone through this whole printing of money, and there's no scarcity of the US dollar, which is pretty much why it is going to collapse in the next month. And there's going to be a big financial reset in the stock markets and all the markets as this collapses and everything is readjusted. So I want to prepare you for like massive volatility. But with that volatility, we're going to, you know, ride this wave in a very big way. So the other thing I want to talk about is Bitcoin being a transactional currency. It's completely failed at that. Now it's got the label of being a store of value. And, you know, or they call it digital gold, the Bitcoin maxis, maximalists, Bitcoin people that got in back in the day and have 1,000 Bitcoin, you know, are quadrillionaires right now. And so it is a store of value in that way. And because of the scarcity effect, it's probably going to continue to be a store of value. So that's cool, but it's not really going to be useful in the world, except for like storing value, if it does that at all, which, you know, due to so Bitcoin is actually a proof of work crypto. There's proof of stake, which is like what Ethereum is moving into. And this is proof of work means that the computer has to solve a math problem to actually make sure that all the transactions and everything are squared away. Proof of stake is more proving that there is, you know, there's money in the game, sort of thing. I think that's a general understanding. And then there's XRP, and that's a completely different, more efficient thing in and of itself. And Bitcoin is actually a real power hungry machine to mine. Like, it's a real power hungry crypto to mine. So it's actually not sustainable in the long term as the price goes up, because of the amount of power that's required to mine Bitcoin to prove the transactions in the network. It goes up as the price goes up, the power goes up, and that's really against the narrative of protecting the environment. That's a not super good use of people's time. So that's really the market cycles of these of Bitcoin and the altcoins, which is the, I guess this brings us to the other resource I'm going to show you here. The altcoins, when we go to the we got it here already. We go to Coin Market Cap. This actually lists all the different information, you know, like this is a great resource. Coin Market Cap is where you can do some research. There's 10,699 different cryptos currently today. And there's a total market cap of all these cryptos of $1.4 trillion. So these are just the stats of the current crypto market. So there's 10,000 coins. A lot of these coins are going to die. They're bullshit coins. They don't mean anything. They're just there to hype it up. They're, you know, essentially you can just copy and paste a whole bunch of code, get someone on Fiverr to build you a coin, and you can launch it into the marketplace. And, you know, essentially whatever. So here's got a whole bunch of prices and the whole rundown on cryptos in general. So that's a great resource to go and check out. So quickly getting back on track, you know, like, because we're running out of time. What's the future vision? We've done that. Investment strategy. Okay, so we're so early. There's less than 2% of people out there that own crypto, Bitcoin, let alone XRP. So just buy it and hold it for 5 years, because at the end of the day, the whole network, the whole financial system is being built on the back of these tokens right here. And there's this opportunity you're not going to get. Your children are not going to get it. No one else is going to get this opportunity. If you're not looking at this stuff right now, during this time period where COVID's having this major impact, there's going to be this whole reset where it happens sort of overnight, where prices go from 90, whatever it is right now, 67 cents to whatever the price goes to when trillions of dollars start flowing into the system, when they turn the new system on. So that's really the opportunity of a lifetime. That's really moving from 3D financial system where you have to go and work for money, to taking your $10, to taking your $150, buying 150 XRP, and they skyrocket because the system needs it, and that actually resets onto that. And that's really this vision of the future. Whether it takes 5 weeks, 5 months, or 5 years, it's going to happen. There's no other token that does what XRP does, that does what XDC does, that does what FLR does, and they all work in unison together. And that's the future. That's where all the money's going to go. So it's really like, I can't stress that more strongly, and I can't stress that it's not financial advice, but it's just what I'm seeing happening right now. And these things are neutral. Like, you can go and, as a creator, you can go and get a coder or learn coding, and you can start to create your own block, you know, like your own business on the back of this technology. Like, you can use this technology. It's not out of reach. You can use it. So that's really where I want to just encourage you to do some more research, because the more research you do into, into XRP in particular, into XDC, into VeChain, into FLR, the more research you do into this reset that's happening, the more you'll be able to manage your mental health better, because we are in volatile times out in the world. You know, I had to wear a mask the other day, and I don't like wearing masks, and you know, I'm extremely against it. And you know, like, yeah, the payouts that they were giving for COVID because of the bonuses, because they're like, oh, we got to give people money because we got to support the system because the system will crash if it doesn't. They're not going to do that, or at least if they do, they're going to pay you central bank digital currencies, which are going to have limitations and tracking attached to it. And we're moving into this world, this really Orwellian world. So I feel for my family, for my friends, it's really imperative to secure your wealth by utilizing the knowledge of seeing into the future to be able to then mitigate all these changes with the fact that you can buy different luxuries, because money is transforming, and our relationship to money and wealth has to transform with it. And that's really this new economy that we're coming into. That's really brings us to this link here. You can click that, you can become a merchant. You'll get, you know, I got 28K worth of TPR coins as a early adopter of this program. I don't know when the cutoff date is, but there it is available for a limited time to become a merchant. If you have a business already, you offer services and goods in exchange for money currently, you know, as being a part of the network, you might offer, you know, that you'll exchange 1 or 3 hours or 1 or 3 goods of whatever you produce in exchange for this token to then help this new economy to start to build and to get momentum. And that's what it's all about. It's about giving back, and it's about being a part of this reciprocal network. And they're extremely generous at TPR right now because we are so early. So I want to offer you that opportunity to jump on that, because that is separate to this XRP, this quantum financial system that is being developed behind the scenes. They don't want people to see this. They don't want people to rush and go and buy these tokens, because these tokens are going to go from $1 to $10 to $100 to $1,000 to $10,000. Just give it time. It just needs time. And if people didn't believe that other people were saying, hey, Bitcoin's going to go to $60,000, you know, you'd call me crazy 5 years ago if I would have said that to you. And I was like, buy Bitcoin. And today I'm saying XRP, because the world's changed. The crypto world's changed. And there's developments that are happening, you know, where Bitcoin is the old dinosaur. It actually is really like a lesser of a technology than XRP and some of these tokens that are listed here. So I think that really rounds it up for me. This is the rest of this document is like me sharing the breadcrumbs of what I've been finding to validate the probability that XRP will actually rise to become the bridge currency of all the money in the world, that facilitates a near instantaneous settlement, replacing the SWIFT system, the current shitty financial system, and all the banks, because all the, you know, like lots of banks are going to get crushed. We're also going to probably be seeing gold backing this token, because it's going to become so important to the financial system as a bedrock for, you know, the exchanges that it's doing and for the transactions that it's facilitating. Is this document going to be shared with us after the call? Yeah, I'm going to email it to everyone. I will be hopefully also uploading this recording and then emailing that to you. But I feel that it's important to actually get this document to you ASAP. I may even just be able to get you the PDF link. Here you go. I don't even know if this is going to work, but here's a link. Here is a link. You can download it. Hopefully that works. It's a weird link. It's just Google, I guess. Yeah, so we've just got a couple more minutes left of this call. This is, and so this document is just really just taking you through sort of the cookie crumb trail that I'm leaving behind for you so you can do your own research, which is really important, to not follow my advice because it's not financial advice. But there is this conspiracy happening behind the scenes where this project XRP and the company behind it called Ripple are partnering with banks, partnering with different organizations. They've actually also brought on the board of Ripple. Rosie Rios has joined the board of Ripple, and she's the lady, the old US treasurer that signed the money in America. So like, look at, like, just if you're looking at symbology, look at the symbology behind some of these things. A few days ago, we've just started to be implementing this new law in the banking system called Basel III, which is the banks requiring a 1-to-1 backing of gold reserves for their money supply. So check that out. There's a couple of links here talking about Basel III and the gold standard, and XRP potentially being backed by gold, which means XRP will, the price of XRP will be like $2,000 currently. That's what gold's worth. So just in and of itself, like, just connect the dots for yourself, essentially. G7 documents here, long and boring documents. I've copied and pasted some information here, but just go through this and check it out. There's a lot of, like, there's some pictures here. Oh, and the one thing I wanted to share before we jump on the call, the next call, the after party, if you will, copy that link down so you don't miss out, is there's a link in here for my YouTube channel, for my YouTube playlist. And you can go and watch what I've been watching on YouTube. And this is like a treasure trove of information. On that note, I think this will cut us off in a second, and then we can continue on chapter 2 in the after party for those that want to dive a little bit deeper and want to continue this conversation, because it's a fascinating conversation. I can talk about it for hours. This is a picture of some of the 300 banks that Ripple's currently in partnership with, that have been developing in the background. So there's just overwhelming evidence to suggest that this is what the future is. The future of money, of cross-border payments. It's solving a $1 trillion problem that we don't even know exists, because we're all living our normal lives. We don't see what's going on in the background. Great to have you guys back again. Yeah, so let me know any questions you guys have as everyone else joins this next little call. It's nice to have this little filter to see who's actually serious, who wants to continue. It's funny.
I was interested to know more about this Fibonacci sequence and how it relates to that chart that you were showing for Bitcoin, because I'm still having trouble understanding what a bubble is. I kind of get the gist of it, but the second half of the chart goes down, and yeah, I'm missing something.
The bubble
with understanding how. Yeah, with the Bitcoin bubble.
Yeah, this one here. Look, I'll show you. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is just my deduction on some other charts that I'm seeing out in the world. But I'll show you like the Fibonacci sequence, which is really like bringing this whole natural world sort of into play here, into the charts. It's really fascinating how the Fibonacci plays out in these charts. So if we zoom in, we're looking at an extremely condensed period of time here from 2018 to 2020. Maybe we'll zoom in a bit here. And we want to measure like...
I didn't get the screen.
Oh yeah, sorry. That would help if I shared my screen. You see that? Yeah. So here we go. Some other people joining in. So we're just going to talk about the Fibonacci. We're just going to do some charting and look at the Fibonacci retracement. Essentially, there's these tools here on the side of this kind of, all these different tools. We got this Fib retracement tool, And what we can do is we can start to sort of retrace. This is actually the dip of 2020, COVID dip. This is interesting. And then we have the second COVID dip right now, which is kind of resetting things. But let's just chart this out. Let's see what this is. The computer's pretty laggy at the moment. So typically when you do the retracement, and I don't know if I can delete all this stuff here. A whole bunch of like, just my gobbledygook drawings on here. These are actually resistance and support lines. But so when we look at the sort of the low before it boosted, and we pull it from the low here, this is a sort of artificial 2020 COVID crash, flash crash. If we pull it from this low here to the all-time high, we'll see that the price is actually sort of retraced to the 1.618 level. Now, the price actually typically does this with lots of cryptos. And I mean, maybe even if we pull that down here, it's actually going to give us a really accurate sort of retracement. If we do pull it all the way down to this low from 2020, and we zoom in here, we're actually going to see a predictive kind of, somewhat predictive kind of charting ability. So with after this high, we're looking to consolidate. Lots of people wanted to buy in here, institutions and stuff, and then watching it retrace back to this 1.618 level. Now, this happens over and over and over again in the marketplace, and it's fractal. It's a fractal pattern that happens. The more you zoom in, it's going to continue to be present in these, in the moves and shifts of the market. That's that's the Fibonacci retracement. On the flip side, you can kind of do that to predict prices as well. Let's just see how we clean this up a bit. Yeah, I like to use the app. This thing on the PC is hard. But any other questions right now for, in terms of what was discussed in that last call, and yeah, I'm just curious.
Hey, Tina.
Yes.
Can you hear me? It's JD here.
Yep, can hear you loud and clear.
Just a quick question, maybe a two-part question, in regards to regulations and how that's going to affect different exchanges, and in turn, will that trickle over and affect wallets and storage?
Regulations, exchanges, wallets, and storage. Well, we need regulation. The SEC versus Ripple lawsuit currently is seeking to get that regulation, or seeking to create regulation off the back of that, especially to support, the rollout of that plan. In terms of exchanges, regulation, that like the exchanges are not really regulated, so they can go down. Like I think Binance in the UK, it actually went down. Like they actually pulled the pin. They got whatever the news was, or whatever the thing was, the laws or whatnot. People have had their accounts frozen on those exchanges. So, like you want to be, sort of get in and get out. So you want to have a wallet, a digital wallet, and there's a whole bunch of digital wallets you can use, you can get on your phone, to then send your crypto into those digital wallets. And that's really then taking custody, because you're not taking custody of your actual tokens until they're in your wallet. Because if it's just on the exchange is acting as a proxy for custody, and that's really, that's not really you owning it.
So again, so could that then, could wallets be affected? Could they be vulnerable to any sort of freezing or regulations?
I've never heard of anything like that about wallets being frozen or about them going after wallets. I have not heard anything. If anything, I've heard that they will be issuing wallets. You know, I've seen the Bank of International Settlements president or whatever, he's talking about, this is my normal wallet with paper in it, and this is my digital wallet with, you know, with my tokens in it. And so they're introducing people to wallets.
Right.
Obviously, they're going to introduce people to wallets that support, you know, the narrative that they're trying to sell, as well as the narrative, as well as all these wallets that we can use to store our tokens as well.
Now, I've noticed with Binance being one of the major ones for buying many different altcoins, I know from Canada here, we can't get money into Binance. They've sort of had a freeze on CAD since I think February, and I'm just curious if you know anything about that or what that might be linked to.
Well, they took XRP. This is the one coin. Like this coin will rule them all, in my opinion. They've taken that off exchanges in America because of the SEC lawsuit. So they're limiting the amount, the access people have, in particular to that coin. What I would say about
so
them,
if we've got XRP, if we've got it already, are we fine? We just can't buy any new.
Well, if you've got some, that's great. You know, put it into a wallet. You want to get the Zum wallet, XUMM wallet. That's a paper wallet you can get on your phone to store it if you don't have cold storage wallet.
Right.
And yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, yeah. What was your question?
So if we're taking it out into cold storage, we're obviously offline. We're not generating any interest when it's offline like that.
Like any interest as in returns?
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't be getting any sort of returns on it. I don't have mine in any returns platform. I've got mine in a wallet. I'm not really interested in earning 10% on my XRP. At this point, I will be in the future when the price is $1,000 or whatnot, because that'll be, you know, that'll be retirement money. That'll be a passive income you can live on. And
I'm just thinking I use like a wallet called Celsius wallet, which earns returns on it.
Yeah.
Is that any less secure than something like a Trust wallet?
I would say, yeah, it is a little bit less secure just because it's got all these different features and because they essentially, you know, getting access to your money instead of you just holding it in your own little wallet thingy. But I don't know the finer details to that. It's definitely more secure than leaving your XRP on an exchange or leaving your cryptos on an exchange. The thing about, you know, the problem I'm facing with some of my cryptos is I bought some of my cryptos, you know, when Bitcoin was peaking. I bought it at the peak and now it's all dipped down. So it's worth like 80% less. And that's just the nature of the this volatile asset class and the nature of my learning curve of buying all these different altcoins and going, oh, this one's going to pump next and whatever. But now I've got a whole bunch of these cryptos that I can't really sell because I'll sell them at a loss. And because they're ERC20 tokens, they're built on the Ethereum network, to send them to a wallet, it's going to cost me like $40 or $20 or whatever.
Yeah, that's what we're faced with.
Yeah, and
the transfer fees alone are crazy.
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, the whole Ethereum network is dog shit as it is right now. It just doesn't work, especially when we've got this XRP and this whole new ecosystem coming up, which has got the backing of all the, you know, all the money really, in a way. So it's kind of, I'm in the same boat. I've got a whole bunch of coins that's in Binance right now. They're all ERC20 tokens. I can't really move them around because I can't justify spending you know, $40 to move $80 worth of tokens. That was $300 worth, but now it's 80. I'd rather buy $40 more worth of tokens of XRP and use that and put that into my other wallet, because XRP I can move that for 25 cents instead of $20. So I feel you know, like it's, you know, it's a bit, those ERC20 tokens, it's just like expensive to send them all around the place and put them into wallets and stuff. Unless you got a few $1,000 worth and, or, you know, whatever, how much money you got sort of thing.
So are you of the opinion we should just hold? I mean, the another question, sorry, everyone, I'm just sort of stealing the mic here. With pulling money out, I mean, putting it into fiat to use it, putting it into a bank account. I have a feeling you're probably just going to say, just hold on, keep it in crypto, don't bring it out.
Yeah. If you picked good coin, like good tokens that do stuff practically, and are not like meme coins, dog coins, keep them in there, man, because we're only at the beginning. This little dip here, it looks fierce, but when you zoom out on this sort of spectrum of time, I mean, we're looking at XRP there, but if you zoom out, like there's all these dips, all right? So don't get shaken out of the market just because it's red for a month or 2 months, like it has been, this red period here. Like that doesn't mean it's not going to go up, and it is going to go up. So I'm just going to hold, and because all these other altcoins, they move with Bitcoin because that's the mother of speculation at the moment. They're going to go up, they're going to recover. And at that point, I'm planning my exit strategy on taking profits, you know, and reducing my exposure to my more sort of, you know, the learning curve of this journey for me, which was buying, you know, I bought 20 different altcoins before I really found the importance of really focusing in on solid projects, you know. And just hold them, you know, because they'll most probably go up. Some might die, you know, and you have to cut those losses. But, you know, because I bought some real weird, you know, down there in the bottom, number 2000 on the list of, you know, the top 10,000 coins. This one's going to be big. It's tiny, you know, but it's like, those are real risky ones. As opposed to like buying the coins and tokens that are being utilized, you know, for utility, and they're actually proven, they're actually big, and they've got like a whole bunch of like use cases behind them, like XRP, XTC, for example. So that's just a part of the learning curve. You know, you can cut short that whole learning curve and just don't focus on a lot of those altcoins, because they're fucking, sure, they're going to run, they're going to do good. And, you know, my neighbor, he put $500 on crazy shit coins and he made 60K out of that $500. But, you know, I don't know what the rest of the story is of his portfolio, you know, but those are just like gambles. Those are just like bets. It's like throwing a dart at a wall in the dark. Just, I don't recommend that. I'd rather throw a dart at the conspiracy of this, you know, of our era, the greatest conspiracy, and go, well, I don't support what they're doing, but I think what they're doing is going to happen because they got a lot of power and a lot of energy behind them, you know. So, and then the more you research into what this actual token does, the more it is this liberation of this golden era where money is transformed and where our ability to access money is transformed, but only if you know. Like, if you don't know, like, we're like sitting ducks out there, essentially. It's kind of weird. Like, it's a brave new world we're moving into that we live in already. I'd rather be sort of on the cutting edge rather than be a sitting duck, you know, because I did sitting ducks last year when we had this COVID thing, and I sat and I was a duck, and it was okay, but it wasn't super fun.
Are you able to speak to this from a place of sort of spiritual shift and how this plays into, you know, the world changing and in people evolving. Is there anything in that area that you could relate all this to?
Oh yeah, massively, man. I mean, just redefining what money is in and of itself, that being our, a unit of account for energy, it's a massive shift in just that, and let alone the removing sort of the banking system, and the spiritual nature of that, and us becoming custodians and responsible stewards of our money, so that we can take our tokens and move them on to different decentralized finance networks, or like get percentage returns on that compounding interest. The TPR coin, that actually pays out 12% compounding interest per day. So on a spiritual level, that's moving power back into our hands. It's freeing us up, removing the banks, because in the past we would be paying compounding interest and the banks will be banking compounding interest. Now we get to participate in that, and that's a great shift of power, great shift of how the underlying mechanism of this whole planet Earth kind of works, in terms of money and in terms of the spiritual aspects of that. But we need to take responsibility, and we need to start create, we need to use these tools, and we need to use the insight and knowledge to create the new world, which is my biggest calling, is to create on the blockchain, to create new apps or whatever it is, that utilizes this framework of quantum feedback to facilitate a new shift in consciousness, an awakening, where where money isn't such a taboo thing. It's not such a limiting thing. It's not such a scarce thing, but it's something you can participate in, and that can be fun, and liberating in its own way in the current times that we're in. It's an interesting period of time and to be honest, like there is I wrote a post about this, but we've just gone through this whole precession of the equinox period. So essentially what we're seeing is the beginning of a new era, and with that comes this technology. Like with that comes these the earth shattering technology of blockchain and of a new financial system. And with that will come, for those that are in the know, I suppose, because it probably won't apply equally to everyone. Initially, there's this massive agenda playing out. I won't get into that too much, but it'll actually create this new, golden era where we can just do what we love doing and follow our passions. But again, there's this massive global agenda, because they believe that there's too many people on the earth to do that properly. So at the beginning of this golden era, of the beginning of this age of Aquarius, they're going to initiate their plan, which is what we have to be careful of, because their plan doesn't really involve, our longevity and livelihood in their interests. So it's just being, able to navigate this storm that's coming, because it's coming, and they're planning to steal a whole bunch of wealth. They're planning to steal a whole bunch of freedoms from the people, and they're planning to poison people, essentially. Like, let's be honest about it. It's happening. That's the reality. Like, and
is it fair to assume that the train has left the station and it's pulling away, and there's no stopping it at this point? This is happening, and it's, they know it, the powers that be know it, and they're not even able to stop it. So they're attempting with whatever they can. I had an interesting friend of mine said, the dragon's head has been cut off, and now we're just dealing with the flailing tail, and the tail's going to swing back and forth for a little while, but eventually the tail will stop moving.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that'll be probably like 2025 by the time that sort of...
Yeah, that's the year actually this person spoke of, was 2025. It starts to quiet down a bit, and we see a little bit of a change.
Yeah, I mean, the 2025 to 2030 will be like golden years. Like we can, but yeah, I mean, we got 5 years. Or 4 years. It's going to be interesting, and I would kind of agree with that whole prognosis. That's kind of what's happening on this bigger, more eclectic level. Interesting insights.
Hey Tino.
Thanks for sharing.
How you going?
Pretty good.
Hey.
You driving?
Good. Good to see you. Yeah, just driving to our holiday house. Just, do you reckon with this big global crash that is upon us at some stage, do you think that the crypto market will take the same plunge?
No, I think that we've just taken the plunge before the actual global crash, because it will move in opposition to the global crash, because the global crash will be like, this is the old system, and the new system will be like, yeah, this is the new system, so we've just had our 50, 60% crash, which is mind-blowing on a stock exchange kind of level. And they've got theirs coming, essentially, with banks getting shut down. I mean, banks not being able to back themselves with gold and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we'll be in the clear, because there'll be a whole bunch of money going, we need to get into Bitcoin, and there'll be all the other money going, we need to buy XRP, and we need to utilize the ledger, and we need to actually transact on that new system. And there's a high probability that it'll be an overnight thing. Like, it'll be a flick of the switch overnight transition, because there's just so much riding on it. Like, there's years of planning that's gone into COVID 2020. There's years of planning that's going into this thing. Like, they're not going to have an easy gradual transition. Like, it's going to be pretty sudden and fierce, I think, which doesn't bode well for people in the stock market. But that's why we're on this call, because it's I see this coming up, and I just wanted to warn you guys, because it's man, there's a new, the future possibilities and they're so massive when you have this knowledge. So I'm really excited about it. But good question. Anyone else got any questions? I love this. It's so cool. Yeah, so yeah, that's really, I mean, for those of you that are still new, sitting on the fence, sounds like we're all kind of coming to consensus that there is this change happening, there is a shift. And, this is just an urgent call to get ready, to be prepared, because we can't stop what's happening. And there's new rails, there's new infrastructure. It's digital infrastructure. You can't even see it in the mainstream media being created and laid down as the backbone of the new digital world. And these tokens in this document, that's it. There's some riddles that I found on Instagram, but
Tino, I had a couple questions.
Sure, Stephen.
Well, first is, where did those reels come from?
Riddles?
Yeah, those images. Yeah, the riddles.
These are just riddles from some guy that knows something, because he's part of some secret meetings. Whether it's someone that actually is organizing it, or someone that wants to let the people know, or let not the people know, but let insider people know that have the ability to think for themselves and decode certain symbology. I think it's a way for, say, different secret societies to get information out into the world. There's other riddles that include Elon Musk's tweets, and you just decode those using gematria, gematria.org, and you can decode some of his tweets, and those tweets will, spell out the future, what you should be doing, so there's a whole different language happening in the background that most.
So I was interested to know like which so that's from Reddit, I think, or well basically the question is which platform is your favorite to get updates on? Because I see there's Medium, and then of course we got Instagram and YouTube. Which one of those is your favorite go-to source?
I spend a lot of time. Well, my favorite go-to source is Twitter at the moment.
Oh,
And I follow, like, I've picked apart some of these different YouTubers that I've been watching. So there'll be a I have to find it. There's a link to my YouTube channel. There's like 100 and something YouTube shows that I've been watching. Here, follow what I'm watching. Yeah, this bit here, this channel here. And just trying to follow what these people that are producing these YouTube videos, follow those people that that they're following on Twitter, to then be on the, to get the news earlier from the Riddlers, from, and all the other things, from the institutions releasing their news and stuff like that. It happens on Twitter first, and then they produce longer articles that go onto Reddit or have conversations on Reddit. I don't really go onto Reddit. I haven't been.
see, the thing is that there's like it's already anxiety provoking to get into this, and as a newbie, there is that like mental health aspect of like getting overwhelmed really quick. So aside from Twitter and everything, and there's like Coursera and YouTube and whatnot, but is there just one source to start with? Like, is Medium hitting the spot, or where would be a good starting space to create like a learning atmosphere so that instead of going off the trends, I could just get a basic understanding of what's happening?
I would probably just look at the charts, to be honest. For your mental health,
Yeah.
if you want to manage your mental health, probably don't look at the news, probably don't look at the events that are unfolding so much as just watch the charts, because just watching the charts will give you, you're going to see what's happening, and that's really the direct line to what's happening. And then the anxiety provoke, and then just to hold your crypto, just to hodl, just to know what you got, and just to hodl. And if you need to check out there for information, check the charts. Got 10 minutes left. Yeah, I mean, and then probably just, I'd pick a couple of different YouTubers if you're particularly fond of getting, XRP knowledge. There's XRP YouTubers out there that are pretty dedicated, that are in my playlist, for example. And then you can just sort of catch up with them, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health, because these are transitionary times. So I know I've delved into this rabbit hole in a pretty extreme way, just because I know that I can sort of take it, and because it's so exciting, and because it's like playing out like a movie script, and I like that. And I haven't watched any movies all year except for one. So like I like that, but horses for courses. Some people got to do jobs and maintain the normal lives. I've been able to not have to do that. I've been able to sort of go all in, in terms of my time and attention into this, and really applying my knowledge into this, because it is the future. And I was like, well, let's commit, like, let's get this down, because once I got this down, then the next 10 years is going to be a breeze. This is the initiation that everyone's going through, is getting up to speed with crypto, getting up to speed with the new economy and the changing landscape. Get down with this, and you get down with the next 10 years, and you're ahead of the game. And there's a lot more freedom that comes with that, I think.
So I'm trying to like find a landing place, as far as like, okay, so we got the chart. So there was 2 or 3 that you listed as options to get the charts from, but which one would be your favorite place to get a chart from?
TradingView.
Okay.
Yeah, probably just go to TradingView and then download the TradingView app. And you can you sign up a free account, so then your app and they all synchronize, so that when you draw some lines on one, they all synchronize between each other, between all your devices.
Boom, we got this.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And then you can just sit back and relax and watch the show unfold. Yeah, so that's really like this introduction to crypto. It's a bit of a deep dive, hopefully not scaring people away, but preparing you for what's to come in the future. We've got a couple more minutes, 7 minutes left before this is going to terminate this call automatically. Thanks to Zoom for making all this possible. I mean, look at technology we're using today. So, if you got some more questions, that'd be amazing. I'd love to answer them.
I got another question, or maybe more of a confirming statement. In regards to what you guys were just chatting about, I think it's fair to say anything you buy right now, just hold. Right, we're in such a time where, like you were saying earlier, this is kind of a gift in that if you're in now, you're early enough. Just hold.
Yeah, I would back that up. Totally. Just hold.
That's what I'm confused about, is how would we know to hold? Because I'm getting so much contradictory news feeds about Bitcoin, and they're saying to let it go and then saying to hold. And there was that chart, Tino, that you had showed a minute ago where the BTC it goes up and then it goes down. It said BTC bubble, you wrote on it.
Yeah, so that's a meme I started creating, because I predict that Bitcoin, isn't let's just imagine the whole marketplace is currently at $1.4 trillion. That's that level. Okay. Now we imagine that there's going to be an injection of $4 trillion. Like hypothetically, let's just imagine $4 trillion traveling into the total crypto marketplace. I imagine most of this new money is going to become going into crypto as utility, following the assets that have actual utility, and not so much speculation anymore. It's not so much store of value, even though that's going to be still an important narrative that's going to play out in terms of Bitcoin, but utility. The current system going, we got trillions of dollars, we need utility. And this is the system. We've got a system here. We've got technology. It is utility. And all these trillions of dollars are going to go, boom, over to XRP. And Bitcoin is going to keep doing its thing, but there's going to be a new number one coin out there, and it's not going to be Bitcoin. And that's what we're looking at over the next couple of months. And there's a whole bunch of people, the old school Bitcoin dudes that have got 1,000 Bitcoin still when they bought them at $1,000. They're not the narrative that they have is the same one that they've been going with. Okay. But the ecosystem's changing. So you're going to see a whole bunch of, crypto OGs that are all just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything that's to do with these sorts of things, and then other normal blockchains. But they're not seeing beyond this line of, institutions and the current system being reset into crypto and utilizing these tokens to facilitate this to happen.
I think disruptive thinking is the number one thing I'm going to embrace going forward, for sure.
Cool.
Everything I thought I knew, I'm going to throw it in the trash and start over.
Yeah, I think that's
right.
It's pretty good. I mean, especially with money and stuff like that, like your relationship to money. Like that's what I started doing. It's like, wow, I can reinvent my relationship with money because it's being reinvented as we speak. So, attracting wealth, attracting $28,000 worth of coin, which you have a link to do, is like easy. you know, is quick. It's all about being at the right place at the right time, opportunity. And same with XRP. Oh, buy 1,000 of those, it goes up to $1,000. Oh, there's $1 million. Oh, it's all about being in the right place at the right time, opportunity. We have that. We're in the right place with our ability to see beyond the narratives of the mainstream, to see deeper into what's actually happening behind the scenes. And that's what it's all about. Redefining our relationship to money, because we've done the hard work, man. Like, you're here because you've been doing the hard work, and you've been training yourself, your mind, your body, your ability to weather the storm, whether that's a relationship or whether that's a global reset, you know, and to be able to find your center and to know who you are. And that's really this ultimate spiritual gift that we get to participate in right now, you know, during the calamity of the world, and also with, you know, these different opportunities in terms of cryptocurrencies. We get to participate and we get to ride that wave, and we get to become the stewards of, you know, of these visions that we're holding so deep. Because I just want to prepare you for massive wealth, because as this adoption takes place, new doors will open up, and you'll have the opportunity to create at a much quicker pace because of the liquidity that's behind you, because you put yourself into a place to financially benefit from these transitions. And that's really like a great responsibility. And that's really where I want to encourage you to, you know, start focusing time and attention on what you want to create in the future. Start visualizing that. Start actually taking the time to do that. And we're about to drop out on this call, and I'm so grateful that you guys are here and joining me on this call. And it's a bright light at the end of the tunnel. You know, this is dark times we're in, and there is a massive bright light at the end of the tunnel, especially when we have this vision and foresight of what's coming up on the horizon. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you all on the yacht party or whatever party we go to do, because, you know, like, we are the 1%, and it's time to do something about that. It's time to do something with that. That's my firm belief. We got to create the new world. No one's going to create for us. Yeah, I can email the doc. I will. I can post. I'll email it because there's not enough time right now. Thanks for joining me, and